Hello young explorers. In today's session, we'll see something which is very much essential part of our life. Can you recall what you need in your watch? What you need in your car? What you need in your laptop? What you need in your cell phone? A battery. Can you imagine your life without battery? What will happen if battery is not there? You cannot walk with your mobile, so you have to plug that mobile all the time to the AC supply. You cannot start your car with ignition key. You have to push it and then it will start. So battery has become very much essential part of our day-to-day life. But are you aware who invented the battery? Battery was invented in 1800 by Alessandro Volta. He invented first chemical battery and he was able to produce electricity on which some experiments can be done. In 1800 there was not a single instrument which can run on electricity, because before that no electricity was there. We started actual electricity generation after 1850. Today we are using electricity to a very large extent in our day-to-day life. But that too again we are using this electricity or converting mechanical energy into electrical form of energy, or solar energy into electrical form of energy. We know that energy can be converted from one form into another form. In the same way, when you talk about cell phone battery, we are converting chemical energy into electrical form of energy. So we charge it first and then discharge it. But production, here I spoke about charging and discharging. But can we generate electricity using chemicals? Answer is yes. And the first chemical battery was invented by Alessandro Volta in 1800. He used two different metals and joined them together to create potential difference, on which we can see some electrical experiments. So how chemical produces electricity? All we know that what is electricity? Electricity is nothing but a flow of electrons or a flow of charge from one place to another place. But why these electrons move from one place to another place? That we already discussed in electricity. You can refer basics in electricity video to understand why electricity flows from one place to another place. But we know that electrons can pass through the solid conductors. Take any metals, copper, iron, zinc, silver, gold. Electricity can pass through the metals or solids. Can electricity pass through liquids? For this we need to see different examples. So when first electricity using chemicals or chemical battery was invented, that time there was one person called Galvani. He claimed that he is generating electricity with the frogs by putting two electrodes in his legs. Later we found that frog was not generating electricity, but frog was providing a medium, and today we know that medium as an electrolyte medium. So when you put two different metals in electrolyte medium, electrons can flow from one metal to another metal, depend on their reactivity. That series we will see later. But when we come to this point that electricity can pass through the liquids, there are two types of liquids we need to know. The first called is as an electrolyte medium through which electrons can pass, and second is non-electrolyte medium through which electrons or electricity cannot pass. If you add sugar in water and put two electrodes with battery and LED or any bulb will not glow, because when sugar dissolves into water, it just dissolve. It do not gives or dissipates into ions. But when it comes to salt solution, if you add table salt in water, salt gets dissolved into the water and gives out two ions, Na plus and Cl minus. So aqueous solution of sodium chloride is an electrolyte medium. But if you put two electrodes in table salt, just in solid form or powder form, electricity will not pass through that sodium chloride solid powder. But when the same sodium chloride or table salt dissolves in water, it dissipates into two ions, Na plus and Cl minus, and so electrons can pass from one electrode to another electrode. So in electrolyte medium, there are different things we need to understand. When we talk about metals, every metal is a different metal or different element, having different number of atoms, different number of protons and electrons. So we will understand what electrochemical series is and what is their reactivity. So for that, if you see, this is an electrochemical series: potassium, calcium, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, silver, gold and platinum. It means that this is potassium gives most electrons very easily, whereas platinum do not give electrons very easily. That is why we use gold, silver or platinum in our day-to-day life for daily use or domestic use, because they do not give out electrons very easily. So their lust or shining, their durability is longer. But when it comes to this upper part, so potassium is highly reactive, calcium is highly reactive, sodium is highly reactive. They react and gives out electrons very fast and easily. So when you take two metals, so we need basically two electrodes. So take an example of zinc and copper. So zinc is higher in the order in the electrochemical series. When you use zinc with copper, so zinc is oxidized. Oxidized means zinc gives out electron and copper is reduced. So copper accepts the electron. So when so we write this reaction as Zn 2 plus 2 electrons. And these two electrons are accepted by copper in that reactivity series when you use two electrodes together. And this reactivity series we basically follow to get maximum potential voltage. So what is potential voltage? The difference between charge and the voltage we use. So if we are using one lemon with two electrodes, you will get some potential difference. If you use two lemons in series, you will get more potential difference, because we know that V is equal to V1 plus V2. So we will make a electrochemical cell using lemons first, and we will see how electricity is generated, and we will try to glow one LED using lemons, and we will understand what exact chemical reaction is happening in copper and zinc once we see LED is glowing. So let us make a lemon battery. For this we need copper plate, zinc plate, lemons, LED and few wires. First of all, we will remove this insulation from the wire, hold it tightly and twist the metal part. Do it for all wires by removing the insulation and twisting the metal wire. Now, when you are done with all wires, join the first wire. LED has two legs, positive and negative. Join any wire, specifically red or orange wire with positive and black wire with negative terminal of the LED. Make sure that these two wires do not touch with each other to make short circuit. Now, the wire which is attached to the longer leg, you have to attach with a copper plate. So, insert this wire through this hole and twist it behind and tight this connection. Similarly, the negative of the LED you will attach with zinc plate like this, twist the wires like this. So, this is the first thing, and then after this you have to join one copper and one zinc, one copper and one zinc with each other. I have ready with me, so I will show that directly to you. This is how you have to make pairs of wires with copper and zinc, copper and zinc. Once you are ready with this, we will attach these copper and zinc alternatively in lemon or any citrus fruit. So, first of all, roll the lemons so that juice will be free inside. Once you roll all 5 lemons, then I will first join this LED first. So, take any copper or zinc, doesn't matter. Put it on a lemon and you have to literally cut it. Use this as a blade. Cut the lemon and insert at least half plate of the copper inside like this. So, once you put it like this, this will go into another lemon. So, if you put it in the same lemon, we are using only single lemon battery, but the voltage produced by single lemon battery is not enough. So, here we have connected 5 lemons in series. So, if you see clearly, negative from the LED is going to the zinc. In the same lemon we have inserted copper plate. This copper plate is attached to zinc, copper, zinc, copper, zinc. So, in this way we have connected this battery. Now, this battery is on, actually it is creating potential difference with which this LED is glowing. So, if you see here, LED is glowing, but in this light the potential difference and current produced by these 5 lemons is not sufficient enough so that this LED is visible in this light. So, we will switch off the light and we will see this LED is glowing. So, if you see this LED is glowing, I am just removing any one plate so that this LED goes off. So, again I am using this as a switch basically. I am inserting this plate again into the lemon and you will see this LED is glowing. So, this is how this lemon battery works. How this is working? So, if you see this, in this reactivity series, zinc is above the copper. So, zinc gives out 2 electrons, becomes Zn plus ion, and these 2 electrons reacts with a hydrogen in the lemon. So, from where this hydrogen comes? All citrus food contains acid, and we know that hydrogen is the most essential element in the acids. So, these 2 electrons, these 2 free electrons reacts with hydrogen and they form a H2 gas, and the electrons travels externally to the copper wire or the copper plate, and from one copper plate they travel to another lemon, and this is how this circuit gets completed. But the current produced in this circuit is very minute. That is why LED is not glowing. But we can check the voltage. So, if I take this multimeter and I will place it here so that you can see the readings. I will connect. We know how to put the voltmeter. Voltmeter, always we measure the voltage across the terminals. So, now all these 5 lemons are generating some potential difference, and that is added up to glow LED. So I will put this red positive to the LED and negative here. So let us check how much volt we are getting. So we are getting a potential difference of 1.5 volt. So all lemons together are generating this potential difference. Now we will see potential difference across one lemon, terminals of one lemon. So I am just attaching this positive with the copper plate of one lemon and to the zinc. Here we can see the reading, it is coming 0.40 volt. So together these 5 lemons are giving 1.5 volt, whereas one lemon is giving 0.4 volt. So there must be some addition of different voltages together to give 1.5 volt, because we know that if we connect batteries in series, to V, potential difference across the terminal, is equal to the potential difference across each battery. So V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4 plus V5, that we learned already. Now we will try different citrus fruits and check this activity. So let us use lemon. Instead of lemon we will use tomato. So I will just insert it in tomato. So I will just remove this as well. See, we have connected 3 tomatoes, 1 lemon and 1 Mosambi in this circuit, and let us see if how much potential difference we have created now with these things. So it is 1.52. We will again check if LED is glowing in the dark. So see here again, LED is glowing in the dark. I will remove plate from the tomato, LED goes off. Again I am inserting a plate in tomato, you can see this LED is glowing. So you can use any citrus fruit to generate electricity. What is happening? Basically these fruits, they are not generating electricity, remember. They are just electrolyte medium. Electricity is generated here. Zinc is oxidized in this electrolyte medium, which gives out 2 electrons, and those 2 electrons reacts with hydrogen, and those electrons travel externally to the copper plate, and this circuit is completed. This is how we create electricity from chemical or electrolyte medium. This is called as a chemical battery. Even you can try to run a digital watch on this, that you can do. So you can try different citrus fruit. See this setup. Here, instead of lemons or any citrus fruit, what I have done, I have taken these 5 containers. You can get such in containers, you can use any containers from home. But this LED is glowing now. What I have done is very simple thing. I have used the same copper and zinc plate and dipped in water. But this solution or this solution of water is not only water, but I have added 1 teaspoon of salt in each container. As we know, when water and salt come together, sodium chloride dissipates into ions, that is positive ion of Na plus and negative chlorine Cl minus. So electron, again the reaction here is the same. Zinc loses electron and those electron travels to the copper plate, and in reaction, if you see this zinc plate after some time, it will glow some blackish, because zinc is losing electrons. The mass of this zinc plate will be reduced, and hydrogen, because you can see the small bubbles of hydrogen will be there, and here if you can see, as soon as I dip this zinc plate in the salt solution, LED glows. See here. Even I can show you by switching off the light. So let us switch off the light and see, as soon as I dip the zinc plate in the salt solution, here we are getting more current and voltage as compared with the citrus fruits. you have to make sure that this zinc plate and copper plate, they should not touch each other inside the solution. They should be away from each other. You can try the same experiment with different materials. Instead of salt, you can use sugar and try to find out whether sugar is an electrolyte medium or not. You can try vinegar, you can try different things, dissolve that and see whether that solution is electrolyte medium or not. So this is how chemical battery works. So happy exploring chemical batteries. Thank you.